just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Packer Up, boys. And don't forget, you can now comment on Spotify podcasts. If you're listening on Spotify, leave us a comment. We've also got clips on there now as well. So make sure to head to Spotify, give us a follow, press that follow button or subscribe button. Also, make sure to subscribe to YouTube. We've got some big plans for YouTube coming up, so we want to subscribe to that. I tell you what, just got this on me desk. It's just come across me desk. The Doggies have sent across their 2025 jersey. How good. So thanks to the boys. We'll put that up on the studio. Oof. There we go. Thanks for coming. I still can't get over their vintage round or retro round or whatever jersey last year. Oh, my God.
I thought,
retro jersey.
Yeah, I thought that was the pick of them last year,
that was
personally.
so good. It was so good. But I got the big fella here. How you going, brother?
Good, brother, good. Just finished a nice, very grumpy dark coffee. It's my favourite, I've decided.
Okay. Well, we should be hopefully back in stock soon, guys. Got a lot going on at the moment. Hopefully back in stock soon. Getting a lot of messages and that, but I reckon early mid next week, we should be all back in stock. Apologies about the delay. The launch has just been, you wouldn't believe how insane it's been. But thank you, everyone, for being understanding. Matty?
Yeah, I'm going to wait till after the podcast to get into my grumpy because it was cut from the podcast, but yesterday I had to stop the whole show for a...
First time ever.
First time I've ever had to stop the show for... I was going to explode if I was
like, I got to stop it, and literally ran out the door.
Yeah.
Oh, to go to the toilet?
To go to the toilet.
Are you saying he stopped the podcast to have a coffee?
No. He literally stopped it to get to the bathroom, and he ran.
Yeah. I waddled, yeah. Because it was... Yeah, it was all systems go.
It was all systems go. So wait till after.
I'm gonna wait till after. Yeah, it was grumpy, good day. It was just no good.
DMP shirts are now available. Head over to bloke.shop, and as I said, guys, you buy a DMP shirt, you go in the draw to spend round one footy companion, all expenses paid, wine and dined, all the good stuff. Myself, Tom, and Eddie, you get to come to the Hello Sports studio, have some beers, have some pizza, hang out with us for the night for the show. It'll be a great night. All you got to do is buy a shirt. You get the incredible shirt, and I tell you what, I've been getting message after message of people shocked at how high quality the shirts are now. So grab one from bloke.shop. Once these shirts are gone, no, that's the only way you can enter the draw. And I'll tell you, you're not dealing with thousands of people in this draw. You have a really good chance to win this. So grab a DMP shirt. It supports the platform. You get a bloody good shirt plus a chance to come and watch a footy companion with the boys. You and 3 or 4 mates come down, all expenses paid, to enjoy the footy companion next year. So get in before they're gone. Once they're all sold out, that's the only way you can enter. We are not letting any other way to enter. So grabbing a DMP shirt is the only way. But how's the week been, Sandor?
Oh, bro, absolute just binge fest on the fight content this week.
Okay.
Like, big card. I think it's kind of underwhelming, the Jones UFC card now. It's really been taken over by the hype train that is Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. We were speaking about it.
Yeah.
I'm so torn. Like, I'm excited for it. And I had a few messages. I don't know if you've seen Mike Tyson slap Jake Paul in the recent weigh-in. And, you know, people straight away, their first reaction, I go, bro, just take a second. This is what he wants.
Yeah.
You are talking about him. He's the master. He's the villain. He wants you to watch him get knocked out. Like, that's what he wants
Jake
you to
Paul.
want. Yeah, that's what he wants you to want. And he's mastered it. And at the end of the day, he's going to get a payday. And, look, I hope he doesn't win, but...
Surely not.
Tough,
I hope the fight's rigged to the point where he refuses to knock Tyson out.
That would be...
What kind of bloke would he... Like, what does he gain by knocking out a 58-year-old Tyson? Now, look, if he wants to beat him or whatever, but if he TKOs or knocks him out, like, he gains nothing from that. I hope he has the common decency, if it gets to those later rounds, to go, all right, I'm winning this fight. There's no need to knock out an icon of boxing.
You know what else he's mastered, Kempy, is he gets the question in the conferences or in the presses, and it's like that. When are you going to fight a contender? And then he just puts it back. Oh, so you're disrespecting my time. Every person he fights, he's mastered the way he can turn that around.
He can lie all he wants. You know, like, put it this way. Up to this point, fighting youngish people that are MMA fighters, boxers, I can kind of understand. He's a content creator.
Yes.
But at some point, if you want to say you're a real boxer like you are saying, at some point you're going to have to fight someone that's your weight, someone that's a similar-ish record to be considered, to be taken seriously. Don't get me wrong. I think he is a legit boxer.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean he's a good boxer.
I don't think it's his intention. I think he's going to play
Just
this
keep
on as
doing
long
this
as he
stuff.
can.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
with the thought that, surely he's going to fight. No, he's not.
You just never do it.
He's going to fight the next big thing that comes around.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, he's making money. He's making money,
Isn't he
so
right?
much money.
There's this glimmer of hope, though, that Tyson just lands something. At the end of the day, it is possible.
I just 58. It'd be insane. Like at 58 to be able to have enough power to knock a guy out, Jake Paul, who, I know people put crap on him, but he does train boxing. He
Yes.
is conditioned.
Yeah.
Like his chin's conditioned. He's young. He's in his prime. He's sparring actual boxers. Like he actually does. He spars actual boxers.
He's not mucking around.
Yeah, like
He's all in.
He's all in, but he just hasn't actually fought someone. Now, and people go, how come you haven't fought a real boxer? Or, look at the records of the people he's fighting. Look, in most boxers, and it's different for Jake Paul. He started really late, but most boxers' early careers are they're padded, like massively
Oh,
padded.
yeah. Boxing especially.
Yeah, boxing's the first even 15 fights sometimes is just purely
your records,
mismatches.
everything.
Yeah. And so I can understand why Jake Paul at this stage is just fighting smaller UFC fighters or retired UFC fighters. But as I said, at some stage he has to fight. He doesn't have to fight a gun in his weight division, not at all. But just someone of a similar, experience level.
Yeah. I just don't think.
You don't think he will?
I don't think it's his intention. It's not.
He's just going to troll the whole
Yeah.
time, you reckon?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean,
and he calls out Canelo, but even the Canelo fight, that's not you trying to create a legacy and a pathway of being a great boxer. That's a money fight.
yeah, that's a money fight.
If you get knocked out, who gives a shit?
Yeah, no one gives a shit if you get knocked out by Canelo.
For Canelo.
Yeah, so look, it is what it is. I just can't. Even though Jake Paul has such a bad reputation, even I think he has enough humanity in him. If it gets to the 6th or 7th round, and he knows he can knock Tyson out because Tyson is older and he's fatiguing, I don't think he'll do it.
I don't know.
I hope he doesn't.
I hope.
Because really, Tyson only has what? What do you reckon? 3 rounds max in him to knock him out?
What is it? Is it 8-2s?
I think it's 8-2s, yeah.
3 rounds.
At
2-minute rounds are
I reckon
hardest task
he's
in
got
training.
maybe 3.5 rounds of max in him to actually have the power to knock Jake Paul out.
And let's be honest, we've seen enough from Jake to know that he will move. He probably won't engage for a couple rounds.
Yeah, of course
His
he won't.
hope is to get to round 4 and then start turning the engine on.
See, I can see a world where Jake Paul TKOs him due to fatigue.
Yes.
Like Tyson just gets tired by round 7.
I agree.
Again, guys, we're talking about a 58-year-old. Now, if Tyson was...
Kind of a McGregor-Mayweather vibe.
Yeah. Whereas if Tyson was 40, I'd be backing Tyson in all the way.
Yeah.
If Tyson was even 45, maybe, but 58...
My comparison is not so much the last fights he had, but it's the Roy Jones Jr. fight.
Yeah.
Now, okay, arguably that's the first time he got back in, and Roy Jones Jr. is old as well. And Roy Jones Jr. speaks highly of that fight against Tyson, like his power and whatnot. But at the end of the day, that was clearly 2 older men fighting.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm
It
saying.
was,
And he's
bro.
way older than that now,
It
too.
was.
Whereas, let's be real, he would literally kill Jake Paul in his prime.
It's not even
let's not.
seconds.
The only issue for Tyson here is nothing to do with his skill set or anything like that. It's just age. His age. So I am going to pray to the boxing gods that Tyson knocks him out. If he doesn't, I pray Jake has enough humanity in him to go, I gain nothing by knocking a legend out.
Can't sleep him.
Surely not.
Surely.
It'll be a stain on the boxing in general, in my opinion. If Tyson gets flatlined by Jake Paul, it'll be one of the darker days in boxing.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Ultimately, I don't think... Yeah, I agree. I don't think it'll be a good thing.
Think that he's a legend. He's a legend at 58, and this young
It'll be
guy...
cringe, bro.
It'll be disgraceful. It'll be disgraceful. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
I haven't thought that deeply as you guys have about the fight, but have you seen any of the doco on Netflix?
Good.
I watched it, yeah.
I finished the first episode. It's pretty good. I'm not really interested in Jake Paul. I'm just keen to see Tyson. My dad, my uncle, my grandparents, they all say nothing. There was nothing like Gene up for a Tyson fight in the early 90s. Nothing like it.
You can't take anything for what it is, what you see, but it does get me going seeing him angry.
Yeah.
Seeing him in that zone of just violence.
Because he wasn't angry against Roy Jones, bro. That was the most placid, friendly
Yeah.
thing ever, very respectful. if it is genuine, which I hope it is, I like seeing him angry.
When
That's
I see him
Tyson.
angry, it reminds me of like some people have that he was born to be a warrior. Like he's got this mode in him of like if he lived 1,000 years ago, he'd be leading the charge on a battlefield with a big axe or something.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like he was born for violence. When you see him in that mode, he's just violent. He's just violent. And so yeah,
I think those battles, I've just had a mind blank. Brad Pitt movie Achilles.
Oh yeah,
And I think so. All right, send out your two best.
100%.
That's
Yep.
him.
That's him 100%. Yep, absolutely. What about that line in that movie where Brad Pitt absolutely roasts the shit out of that kid, where the kid's like, why are you going out to do that, Achilles? And he's like, that's why no one remember your name. It's like the kid's like, damn, bro, what the hell? I'm just a friggin' kid. Brad Pitt spraying me before he
I wonder
better
if
go-
that's how it happened back in the day. You get to the point where it's like, all right, let's not kill any more men. Just send the two best blokes out. Whoever wins,
It did,
you get to
it did
claim
happen. Sometimes you basically both sides would send their champions out of a way to stop both armies being completely decimated by each other, and they would duel, and whoever won. It didn't happen all the time, but it would happen
That's
sometimes.
gangster.
Just on the kid thing, did you see the Tyson interview with the little girl that just came?
No.
Bro,
Oh, you got to watch it.
bro.
So the little kid.
I'll show you it right now so that you get some, because you can't talk about it like this unless you actually fucking get some context on this. Actually insane,
we'll run
bro.
through this.
You know what? On that, while you're showing me that, the Tyson thing. If you've seen any of his old interviews, bro, you don't fuck around with Tyson on his interviews. Now he's getting these bullshit questions, and he's probably sitting there going, "Are you guys serious?"
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
if you
I'm
return to the
68,
ring
but-
for this fight, you are setting a monumental opportunity for kids my age to see the legend Mike Tyson in the ring for the first time. So after such a successful career, what type of legacy would you like to leave behind when it's all said and done?
Well, I don't know. I don't believe in the word legacy. I just think that's another word for ego. Legacy doesn't mean nothing. That's just some word everybody grabbed onto. Someone said that word and everyone grabbed on the word, so now it's used every 5 seconds. It means absolutely nothing to me. I'm just passing through. I'm going to die, and it's going to be over. Who cares about legacy after that? What a big ego. So I'm going to die. I want people to think that I'm this, I'm great. No, we're nothing. We're just dead. We're dust. We're absolutely nothing. Our legacy is nothing.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that.
Throw the kid a bone and give him an answer.
Really imagine somebody say, I want my legacy to be this way when you're dead. Why do you want somebody you think somebody really wants to think about you? What's the audacity? I think, I want people to think about me when I'm gone. Who the fuck cares about me? Well, my kids maybe, or grandkids.
My kids, maybe. Bro, you know what I'll say though? That kid handled it like a pro.
Perfect. Yeah,
That's one of those mature as kids,
smart as anything. She actually, if he said that to an adult interviewer, the adult would be rattled. She handled it like a pro. Was like, oh, I've actually never heard that before. It's like, damn, she's got it. She's killing it.
That was
How
super
funny is
impressive.
it when someone asks half of a shit question, even Ariel and that, and Mike Tyson gives this kind of answer and he kind of gets angry and they're like, oh, okay, yep, cool.
Yep.
Next question.
But yeah, that kid handled it like a pro. But Mikey, bro, it's a child next to you.
Gives a fuck.
I'm dead. It's like, whoa, man. There's a little kid next to you.
In the doggo as well. Have you seen him, like any footage of him playing with his pigeons?
No. I mean, I've seen old footage of it.
Yeah. I don't know that much about Tyson. So I wasn't sure about it. It's just you have to watch it.
His story is insane.
Yeah, he just walks in there with this thing of pigeons and just grabs them like this, and he's like, they're like humans. Sometimes they betray you. They're like humans. Oh, it's
Just
so
loves
funny.
It, eh? Even
It's
when
so
Jake Paul
funny.
gave him that pigeon and it's just the way he handles it.
Yeah, he just
So,
grabs
yeah,
it.
it's a low budget pigeon. I'll feed it to my falcon.
Oh my God, Jesus. Alrighty, guys, don't forget, brought to you by Sportsbet, our friends over at Sportsbet. As always, give us a follow on the feed and stay tuned. It's the last week for me to catch up to Dan Orange. Look, I've had a Barry Crocker on the horses, and it's not going well, just put it that way. So I need a big weekend, hopefully fingers crossed, because if I lose, I've got to go to friggin' Ballarat and do a fashion show in the worst kit ever. So that'll be embarrassing. Massive thank you to Sportsbet for putting me in that position. Appreciate it. So stay tuned. But give us a follow on the feed to see how I go. I've got some UFC stuff on there. Obviously got some horse racing tips on there. Make sure to stay tuned.
Just so you know, Ballarat's an hour and a half from Melbourne Airport.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So I have to fly down, drive out. And it's only me going, so Dan Orange doesn't even have to go. I'm so far behind, I'm not going to catch up. And so literally got to fly down to Melbourne to Ballarat where no one doesn't know anything about rugby league.
Yeah.
So I'm going to walk up there. Everyone's going to be like, who's this dude? Thinking I'm being serious.
All they know is the shit you've talked about AFL.
Well, no, they don't even know that. They don't even know who I am. So what's going to be, it's the worst thing because I'm going to be
now
up there.
They're questioning like, why is this guy
Exactly,
model?
that's what I'm saying.
Oh, wow.
You'd rather it be in Sydney because then they're like, oh, that's Beak. He's been a
get
dickhead.
it, it's a piss take.
Whereas they're going to think, this guy ugly for one. His kid's terrible. What's he doing on stage?
That's hilarious.
So it's just like, it's not good. It's not good. It's just not good. Oh my God, bro.
You get on the mic, first thing you're doing is hijacking the combo and just giving context.
Mate, I'm just walking up, getting it done and walking off. That's like, I'm not even going to get on the microphone. Just get up, walk normally, get up, walk off.
I'd love to see like a version of content where they film the instant reactions and you just see them. Like, this guy's not a fucking model.
Exactly. Yeah. How ugly is this guy? What the fuck? But it is what it is. So thanks to our friends over at Sportsbet. Appreciate it. Boys, actually, let's get an algo check. How's the algorithms looking these days, boys? Just fight stuff?
Oh, heavy.
I've been all Tyson and Paul. Tell you what, Netflix are on a bit of a run at the moment. They've got have you seen that baseball documentary, the Red Sox? Yeah,
Red Sox?
Oh yeah, there's a Red Sox like comeback one in 2004, I think it was, against the Yankees. And
Love a good sports doc.
Yeah, I almost finished the first episode and I was going to watch the second one. Then I saw the Tyson thing and got distracted. But yeah, I'm keen to rip into it. The first episode was hectic.
Right, I'll tell you what I watched on Netflix the other day for anyone listening. If you're looking for a little banger that's a sneaky one, I think it was from like 2016, 17. I don't know the actor, but he depicts a real life boxer. He fights, gets into a car accident, his neck's broken, comes back from that, and then fights Roberto Duran. It's a full real story. Just this guy from New York. Great movie.
What's it called?
Oh, I've had a mind blank.
Is it a recent movie?
No, it's an older one.
Old movie.
You know where you're going through and you see something.
Okay,
Great movie. Unbelievable story.
Yeah, okay. Is it?
And he was his trainer in New York was, you know, Tyson's old trainer, the guy with Customato, who had like his sort of hairline started back here.
Not
you always
Teddy
see him in the
Atlas?
old footage.
Not Teddy Atlas?
No, not Teddy Atlas, but you always see this guy in the old footage.
Yeah.
And that was the guy who brought him back.
Okay.
Great movie.
Okay, all right. Stay tuned for that one. My algo is actually all a video game called Horizon Forbidden West.
Is this another new one?
Nah, it's not really new because I've been playing Cyberpunk 2077 and I'm just getting a bit tired of it. I've played it for quite a while now because the thing is so it released an expansion and I finished the expansion. I've already finished the original game before, but it was like 3 years ago or something like that. And I don't know, because I've already finished it, I don't really remember the story that much, but because I've already finished it, I'm just running out of motivation to keep going and I've played it already so much. So I'm kind of on the lookout for a new game. And Horizon Forbidden West, because I actually planned to play Dragon Age Veilguard, but it turned out to be terrible, which is devastating because that was locked in. That was locked in to play. Terrible. Hate it so much, can't even get past the first hour. And so now I'm looking to try and play a different game, but Horizon Forbidden West maybe. I played a bit of Red Dead Redemption 2, which is incredible, but that's a similar one. I've already kind of finished nearly all of it, like or at least half of it, and so I don't want to like go back and play it all again when I already kind of know what happens. So I'm on the lookout for another open world good game that I haven't played yet, and so that's me. I'll go at the moment.
Red Dead is one of the few games that I've completed.
Red Dead 2?
Red Dead, I've played both, but yeah, Red Dead 2 was obviously
You finished
better.
Red Dead 2?
Yeah.
How long ago?
Would have been 2000 and I'm going to say 18?
Did you play it on a PS4?
PS4.
Did you so you finished it?
Finished the
No
whole campaign.
way.
Yeah, I loved it. I
What
loved
the
it.
hell? You didn't even play video games.
I know, but that and Grand Theft Auto. And I think they're made by the same
It
person.
was a classic.
Yeah.
Wow, that's surprising. How?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the last game you played?
The last game I finished was definitely Red Dead Redemption.
But
You know,
played.
the last, probably Tiger Woods. Oh, no, not Tiger Woods. What's it called? Golf 2K or something. 2K.
What else outside of that? Like, what's the last couple games you've played?
Okay, golf. A lot of golf, actually. Cricket. I tried to play Cyberpunk, but I didn't get it, so I stopped.
Why are you laughing?
This is not that hard to get. It's pretty straightforward.
I just didn't love it.
Yeah, it's all right.
GTA I've played 100 times. Well, not 100 times, but I
When's
do.
the last time you actually played a PlayStation?
Probably when I lived with my old housemate and we used to play golf. Pretty
So
much
when's that? How long's that?
Probably 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's been a little while. So you have a PS5 or 4?
4.
4. Okay. There you go, eh?
It's been a while since I've got a PS4 collecting dust. It's been a long time. They reckon that new Grand Theft Auto is going to be like very, what's the word where you're in the game, but you're purchasing things and it's like a whole world.
Oh, okay.
Oh, like a full-on simulation almost.
Not just
and
you either are driving around killing people doing random stuff, or you're playing the campaign like full simulation vibes.
Yeah, I think it won't be that crazy.
You
It'll
heard
just
that though?
not really. Like I don't think. Yeah, it'll just be so like when they say in a living world, what it mean is okay. Like let's say you see an NPC. An NPC is like just a computer character. They'll have like their own full routines. Like so, you'll see them walking on the street, and then you actually could probably go to their house. They're sitting in their couch watching TV.
And I think the other part of it is that like tokeconomy, like there's an economy within the game.
Oh,
They're
there's already been that for ages. But I think what you're kind of alluding to and what has been said, the immersion factor will be mental. Like there's the stuff you can do because like whereas at the moment it's changed a bit, but like you could, for example, Cyberpunk 2077, it looks busy, like there's NPCs everywhere, but it's pretty surface level. Like you know they don't. Whereas Red Dead Redemption 2. That's actually quite immersive where you see someone, he's got a full-on day routine that he does. Like, so you might see him on a horse riding past you. You might see him 3 hours later back home where he's... And that's immersion. And so they're just getting GTA 5 and Red Dead Rockstar, they're the best at that. Rockstar are the best at immersive open worlds.
How much time must go into that?
Mate, hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, I reckon probably... GTA 6, I reckon it's probably going to cost them... I reckon they're probably going to spend nearly $1 billion.
No.
Probably, I reckon they might spend 600 or 700 million all up with including marketing. Yeah, making it, mate. That game GTA 5 has made like Google it, billions,
Really?
billions and billions and billions of dollars.
Wow.
Yeah, it is like it is made. The gaming industry is bigger than the movie and TV industry combined.
8.5 billion.
Oh my God.
That's one game, bro.
Bro.
That's not even Red Dead. So that Rockstar make both Red Dead Redemption and GTA 5.
Is there a cost of building that out, Matty?
Well, it would have cost about 500 million to make. I
Has
reckon
to, if you
GTA
make it.
5.
Okay, I'll check.
And bro, the gaming industry is huge, and that doesn't even include the mobile gaming industry, which is also massive. But yeah, so I'm just on the lookout for another world, another.
Okay, 137.5 million developing it, and then 70 to 110 million in like promo.
So about 300. About 300,
A lot of money.
mate. But
lot of
they made 8 billion.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's crazy. So yeah, looking for that. That's the algo check done and doosted. Guys, Peter V'landys versus Rugby. Former Rugby Australian boss Hamish McLennan claimed Nathan Cleary was a host of NRL stars keen to make a code switch in May. While no formal conversations ever took place, McLennan said the approach from a third party was genuine. V'landys couldn't help himself but have a crack and accuse Union of attention grab. V'landys said, "I'm surprised that they're not trying to sign Ronaldo, Brady, given their attention-seeking publicity.
Wow.
I would be more concerned if I was them with the $80 million worth of debt that they have created, which puts the whole game in financial turmoil."
Oh, bro. Put the knife in.
Whoa, leave Landys. He's just gone up to absolute town.
I don't mind it.
Oh, God. I mean, I tell you what, Hamish is not even part of Rugby Australia anymore, and he loves a quote.
Did you see Suoli's debut?
Yeah. I mean, I saw the highlights. You can see the highlights. So good. He's such a gun.
But you know one thing I noticed that I don't notice in rugby league? He looks so tall.
He's always, I mean, obviously he's always
He's
been
tall,
yeah,
but
yeah.
like, I was like, holy
When we
shit.
saw him at the Dally M's, in I think it was the end
Massive.
of 22, he was sitting next to Payne Haas. I'm
He was
pretty sure he was taller than
He
him.
was
Dude,
taller
he's
than
like
Payne Haas.
6'5"?
Crazy. Super athlete. But yeah, the Hamish, he loves a headline like, brother, when the journo calls, just say no comment.
He must love it.
He must
he
love
just
it.
must love it.
Of course.
Surely. But surely if you're his work, you're going, bruh, just chill.
Well, who
After
does he
that,
work?
you are.
Who does he work for now?
I don't know. But CEO, like if you're a CEO of a big organization, you'll always find a job
Yeah.
because finding a CEO is like, it's probably the hardest job to find. Like you're basically looking, like if you're a CEO of a large company, it is such a small pool of people that have actually been CEOs of large companies that you'll be able to get a job, boom, like that. It's being a CEO is a freaking psycho tough job. Even if, people go, oh, but look at Rugby Australia, they struggle. Doesn't mean it wouldn't have been a tough job. And also like Hamish, however you feel about his tenure at Rugby Australia, he took over when it was already in the absolute dirt, unfortunately. So you can't just lay all the blame at his feet. Obviously you can look at the things he decided on his tenure to do, but mate, Rugby Australia was already struggling before he come along.
Fly on the Wad love to know what their future plans are because they're digging out of a hole.
The plan publicly that we've read, and this is on Raw Sports, is their hope is that the Lions Tour and the World Cup generate so much revenue that they can pay back all that debt and give themselves enough money to rebuild. But the concern I have is that by the time they get to the World Cup, they'll have so much debt that all it will be is just to pay off the debt.
Yeah, and the problem with getting to that point is the grassroots will be nearly non-existent by that point.
That's what I mean.
Even the AFL has infiltrated the GPS schools.
And there's like so many union players that are coming across the league now. You see it all the time. This young gun from Waratahs, whatever, is now signed with, like, for example, is it Carter Gordon at the Titans?
Yeah, Carter Gordon.
Like, a few years ago, that would have been a massive deal. Like, he's a fly half for them, wasn't he?
Oh,
he's a half for the Wallabies. Gun.
Wow.
Then you've got Nwanga Nituase, who was an outside back, young gun as well. And it really wasn't that big of a deal. I tell you what, Carter Gordon, I'm pretty sure that's his name. Apologies, I'm getting it wrong.
It is Carter Gordon, and fly half.
Mate, I'm excited to see him in league. He's a big boy. Probably going to play 6, can play centre. Him and Nwanga Nituase, I've met him as well, Nwanga Nituase. He's a friggin' big boy too.
Is he?
Yeah, physically,
Tall
both those
too?
boys are specimen. Yeah.
Really?
I reckon Nwanga Nituase would be 6'2", 6'2". Carter Gordon at least 6'2", as a half and big. I'm really interested to see how they go. I think they're going to do quite well, to be honest. And Nwanga Nituase, he actually played league growing up.
Yeah.
Carter Gordon, what's so intriguing about him is that he's big and he can ball play. In today's modern game, if you're a big ball running 5'8" that's got a decent pass on you, mate, you're laughing.
It's pretty cool. We don't see that too many.
Think about how successful Whiten's been, and he's not even a 5'8".
Yep.
He only became a 5'8" because the milk needed it, because Raiders needed it. You look at Burton, like he's a big ball running 5'8". And I'd say Carter Gordon's probably a bit bigger frame than Burton.
He'd have a good kick on him too.
That's what I mean.
Being so dominant in rugby.
So I wonder what they're going to do there, because they've got so many halves at the Titans. But I feel like you'd almost be a bit crazy not to try to get him in the side if he's playing good footy. So yeah, interesting to see there. But yeah, look, Vlandis goes absolutely whack. Alrighty, guys.
Sorry, one sec. I was just doing some maths. So GTA 5 sold over 200 million copies. So out of in the world, 1 in every 40 people bought it.
Yeah, insane.
Holy shit.
That's crazy.
Gaming is huge. Alrighty, Hubble Black Friday sale. Hubble Hub brings together live and upcoming sports in one view, so you won't have to jump in and out of different apps to watch your favourite sports this summer. Even better, Sport on Hubble Hub is integrated into an easy-to-navigate interface across your favourite apps. Hubble has an amazing Black Friday offer that is available right now. 50% off Hubble Hub, now only $49.50. Okay, so it'll run from today, or the last time we spoke about this ad, until Sunday the 8th of December. 11:59, Sunday the 8th of December. So if you want to get it, the Hubble, $49.50, Black Friday sale. It's sport and entertainment for less. Plus, it's super convenient. Buy now at hubble.com.au. So to be clear, guys, this sale ends at 11:59, Sunday, 8th of December. That's when it ends. It is available right now, $49.50. Make sure to grab that. So it's like basically a TV box where everything is on. So usually when you're on your smart TV, you got to click out of KO Sports. You got to go Netflix, open it back up, load into it.
Yeah.
This is just all at once. So like if you're on KO, you just press one button, boom, to Netflix, one button over to whatever. It's just all in one.
Nice.
And they actually had a special. I don't know if it's still going, but they had a special where you could get KO and Netflix for like $25 a month or something. So gun. So that's Hubble. Injury news: Blaze Talangi suffered a shoulder injury for Samoa that requires a clean out. He's expected to miss a large chunk of preseason, but should be fine for Vegas. I think knowing that now, you're probably not going to play round one. I'd be very surprised if he just walks straight into that round one side, having not done the whole most of the preseason. In saying that, should be fine for Vegas. Maybe there's some word around how much they back him in. Dylan Edwards, he's also in doubt for Vegas as he's undergone shoulder reconstruction. It's a 4-month recovery period. And Flegler returned to preseason with Dolphins but did not complete the entire session. His return is still unknown. The Dylan Edwards one is interesting, isn't it? Like, we knew he was banged up, but I don't think we knew how banged up he was. Everyone thought it was his bloody knee. His friggin' shoulder, he needed a Rico for it.
It's been a big year.
Think
He's
about
so
that.
tough.
Think about how much chat there was around Cleary. Dylan Edwards was suffering the same thing. We literally didn't hear about it. It's insane.
It does get swept under a bit because I remember was it 2021 grand final where Edwards basically couldn't walk for the whole grand final week. He was walking around in a moon boot the whole time.
Crazy. He played with a broken foot.
Yeah, that was it.
And look, every show is different. Like, the problem that Cleary had is it kept popping out.
Yeah,
And so, like, you can have the same injury, but your body can react differently to it. And also, Edwards would not be making anywhere near the kind of tackles that Cleary is making. But the fact that he needed a full shoulder Rico and got through the year, mate, what clubs are managing to get their players through these days is actually insane. Is insane.
Yeah,
you know,
it would have been frustrating. The only difference is that if it's not popping out, you can play in pain.
You just get through the pain. Yeah.
It's like the little subluxes, but fuck,
I mean,
tough.
It is insane to think that Dylan Edwards, we're all sitting there going, I think his knee's all banged up, blah, blah. The whole time he needed a shoulder reconstruction. Like, no wonder he wasn't as hectic in contact as he had been. His shoulder was completely busted.
That's his style too. No complaints. Get his work done.
And I understand why the club let him do it as well, because I actually really respect Penrith for that, because they could have easily said, mate, you need a Rico. Like, I mean, look at Cleary. He got it straight away. But the club's gone, everything you've done for it, we know how hard it is to get that Australian jersey. You've only got a limited amount of time you're going to wear that jersey. We'll give you the opportunity to play in that. So I think that's bloody good by the Penrith Panthers. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think they looked at Cleary and they were like, look, he's got plenty of years to play that jersey. He's got it on lockdown pretty much for the next, whatever it is. Whereas Edwards, there's just so much pressure from Ponga and Reece Walsh that then you've got Hammer, Turbo, Trell.
Give him a shot.
Geez, if you get a shot, you take it. You take it every other week. Don't forget, Menulog is our hungriest player is Dearden, Dearden, for free delivery this week. Yeah. Minimum spend is $30. And also get the Chairman Pro today and experience a shave that is as smooth as you deserve. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BLOKE at manscaped.com. That is right. Use code BLOKE for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com and get the Chairman Pro today. And also, as always, a massive thank you to Aussie Footy Shorts. Give them a follow. Grab some Aussie Footy Shorts with pockets, the best in the business. Trust me. Go to their Instagram, give them a follow, and grab some Aussie Footy Shorts. What were your thoughts when you heard the kickoff yarn? Now, the kickoff's all been sorted. The NRL's come out and said, no, that's not happening. But what was your first thoughts when you heard it?
Yeah, my instant reaction was I wasn't happy about it.
Yeah.
And not just because of the common concerns that people show. I just couldn't understand the concept. It just didn't really make sense. I don't even know if there was a solution to come out of that based on the concerns. I just don't think that was the one anyway. So I'm glad that's been put to bed.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Matty?
Yeah, this isn't Captain Hindsight. As soon as I read the story, I immediately thought this has been fed to the journo to see what reaction's going to be.
Yeah, okay.
I really did think that because we've seen it so many times in the past, and it got the reaction that I expected.
Yeah, my only worry, I don't want it changed at all. I think at some point we have to draw a line in the sand and say it's a violent game. You're going to have long-term injuries. You are consenting adults. And yes, okay, when you're 40 years old, you might go, but I wouldn't have made that decision if I knew everything I know now as a mature man. Look, if you're 18 years old, at some point you have to be treated like an adult. If you can go to war as an 18-year-old, you can make a decision as to whether you want to play rugby league, especially nowadays, the players have all the information. There's no one going into NRL blind as to the damages long term. So I think at some point, as a game, we've just got to go, no, like, I'm not ruining the fabric of the game for the wider audience. However, my biggest concern is I just reckon the pressure is going to mount and mount and mount. And Trent Robinson has come out and said, basically, his hope is that they're harsher on head highs from kickoffs. So he's quoted as saying, one of my things is that 6 again rule has been really, really good for us, but it's also cost front rowers. Robson said, front rowers are worth a lot, but bench front rowers are obsolete. We're all playing with locks and we're all playing with guys that are going to run a long distance. We want front rowers in our game. We want taps. We want long dropouts and we want kickoffs to stamp that authority on the game. We don't want a team of back rowers and locks. So we've got to think about our rule changes and the positions that we have and loving the game. I think we should start on how we adjudicate foul play off the kickoffs rather than take away the kickoff. I feel like it's a really big part of the game. Our last game was with Lindsay getting hurt off the kickoff. And if that was a send-off, then people would have changed their view on how they go about and attack that.
Statistically, is kickoff our biggest concern? No, that's what I'm saying.
I guess also as well, like a lot of the knockout is actually, I reckon you'd find people get knocked out more from tackling than the running.
100%.
Yeah.
That kickoff run, it's not really an opportunity. Like, you have to brace, you have to set yourself. It's not really an opportunity for loose tackles and arms flying around.
Like, I do understand his idea of, like, if you're really strict on the kickoff of, like, almost you treat it as a unique tackle where if you go high, you get so punished for it. I guess the problem is that if you start changing the contact space that that defenders are allowed to hit, if you start telling them to go lower, that's going to increase the likelihood of a knockout. That's where a lot of the knockouts happen, when you go low and someone's coming back. But also, if you start saying, okay, you can't go as high or whatever, like if you're trying to hit the ball, then the front rower is always going to find his front. And so you're basically going to create an environment where the person returning the ball is always going to be bending the line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's a catch-22 situation where I can understand where Robbo's coming from, but as soon as you tell the defensive team this tackle is going to be adjudicated a bit differently to everyone else, and essentially what you're kind of saying is, and I know Robbo's not saying this, but I personally believe the knock-on effect of this would be you're essentially telling them you can't hit as hard. Because that's how you reduce the likelihood of going head-highing someone, is reduce the amount of pretty much. Yeah. It's either that or tell them to go low.
Yeah.
And no one's going low off kickoff.
No way.
Because you're basically asking to get knocked out.
Also, if they change the rule, if someone just flicks someone, then the team that got flicked are going to be asking for a send-off.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be too much grey area.
That's what I mean. It's a catch-22. I can see where he's coming from, because logically he's right. Like, if you made it a real danger area for defences, like if you even touch his head, you're gone, then that would probably reduce the amount of head highs off kickoffs. But then it's almost like, okay, well, you're either going to promote them to go low or the front row is just going to break the line every time.
Is there a concept that you would, like, based off the one that they tossed up, is there a concept that you would throw in the ring that could be alternative to what we do now?
I actually think at the moment, they're actually, if you look at statistically, I actually don't think there were that many knockouts from the head.
No, well, I agree.
I think it was
with
like 3 or 4, and it was just it happened all at once that it looked bad. Yeah. Whereas over the season, I actually don't think. I think there's some stat where it's like 5% or something of all knockouts happen on kickoffs. So I just wonder.
I'll check that.
And look, I think Robbo would probably feel the same. I can't speak for Robbo, but
I like the chat from Robbo.
Yeah, for sure. Like, absolutely. Because, like, to be clear,
props out of the game.
Yeah, to be clear here, Robbo's coming from a place saying we want the kickoff in the game. So let's look at ways to make sure, rather than remove the kickoff, let's look at ways to make sure the kickoffs are safer. So we keep it.
Do you reward someone having a crack on that first play?
I think it's a wait and see situation. I think yes, we had a couple of knockouts later in the year that were quite dramatic, but over the whole grand scheme of the whole season, it was actually quite minimal. And I reckon Robbo's probably the same. It's more of like a wait and see how we go. But I think his talk is more off the back of people saying we should get rid of the kickoff. He's thinking, let's think outside the square with this one, rather than just the first process is like get rid of the kickoff. It's let's more go, all right, we're keeping the kickoff no matter what. Let's think of other ways to make the kickoff safer.
Do you think it's getting tarnished because from a visual perspective, the viewer, it's is bad. The most aggressive impact. But again, it doesn't equate to more penalties, more knockouts. That's not the reason.
Yeah. And so I just think, as I've said, I want the kickoffs to stay. My problem is that as soon as someone gets knocked out of a kickoff, the media are just going to latch onto that, and the pressure is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I get worried in the next 5 years it's just going to mount and mount and mount. And I hope the NRL stands strong on this one.
Yeah, I agree.
I really do.
I agree.
I'm concerned that it's... Look,
now it's been highlighted.
Yeah, look, I get where the NRL, they're between a rock and a hard place because sometimes they have to make decisions where they go, guys, it's either we make this decision or we lose this sponsor or whatever. Yeah. And so sometimes I think you'd find if the NRL didn't have to worry about external pressure, they wouldn't make a lot of changes, but they're a business that has to worry about that kind of things.
And the mounting pressure is like, we are now the rough sport.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And you've just got that, like, for example, the knockout in the final series, 2 in a row, that is just getting played on loop. Every pub, every bar, everywhere you go, bloke getting knocked out. And when now with today's sport, you don't see blokes getting knocked out as much. And so you all of a sudden become the barbaric sport that's just like, whoa, that's crazy. And so if you're the wider audience that doesn't watch rugby league, you're a casual viewer, and all you're seeing all week is a bloke off a kickoff getting knocked over, put on repeat all the time, of course, you're going to assume, that must happen all the time. You don't know that it doesn't actually happen all the time. So it's that weird balance that the NRL is going to have to find.
I will say I'm completely against the kickoff change, but I understand if they do it. But if they do it, that rule that was proposed was one of the worst things I've ever seen. That was a shocker. The 20-metre 7 tackles thing.
And to be clear, I don't think the rule was actually proposed by the NRL or whatever. It sounds like it was just a brainstorm.
Just mentioned, yeah.
It was just mentioned in a brainstorming session. So
and tossed up for a reaction, I think.
Yes.
So for just to be clear, I don't think this was like a thought out rule the NRL had come up with and then everyone rejected it. Yeah. I think it was more along the lines of there was a brainstorming session and maybe it got leaked, that one thing. Because the 7 tackle set, you'd always just you go, all right, I'll go 7 tackles then. I'd rather tackle someone on the 15-metre line or the 10-metre line than friggin' they get 30 metres. Yeah. The good teams will always just kick for 7 tackles every time. So, the only way you could probably get rid of the kickoff like that is basically say if you kick over 30 metres, you get a penalty against you. That's the only way you could stop them from going long, I reckon. But anyway, I'm glad the NRL came out quickly and decisively. And I tell you what, Vlandis has got his ears to the ground by basically saying, nah, the game's in a good spot. We're not making any rule changes. Because I think that's, if there was one negative on Vlandis' leadership, and there's not many because he's been so bloody good, but I think if there's one that the wider audience kind of felt, it was too many rule changes too quickly. Where they would say, mate, let's just chill for a bit. And I like he must have his ear to the ground because he said, now it's about making our refs be able to understand all the rule changes that have happened, which is great. I love to see that. I love to see that. But yeah, that's the bloody kickoff rule. What's happening this weekend, Sandor? What's happening in the Doors world?
Oh, mate, what's happening? This week I'm just going to be perched right up. I think my weekend's going to be consumed with watching the fights, bro. Yep. Saturday, I think. Is it Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday 3 p.m.
Saturday 3
great
p.m.
Time. Yeah,
it is great. And then you got the UFC on the weekend as well. Have there been any? Was there player signings this week?
Not really. I don't think so.
Oh, I was going to say I think I heard one, but I don't know if it's official.
Say it. And if it's
is Josh Addo-Carr?
The Eels.
Did he sign with the Eels?
It hasn't signed, but it's looking like that it's going to happen.
I can't believe
love that.
I
love that.
Yeah, I think
it's heavily underrated as well. I love the fact that him and Rolls are going to combine. I know from firsthand speaking to Josh what he brought to the Bulldogs and brought his own experience. So the fact that Rolls is going to have someone, and no doubt he's trying to instill that same culture and philosophy and style of play at least, to know that he's going to have someone that's pretty influential to back him. I know he's a winger, but he's still he has a big impact.
Look at that back line now.
Yeah,
Bensini, Simonson, Lomax, Addo-Carr, and probably Iongi.
Did I see potentially Brodie Croft to the Dragons?
Yeah, that's a
They got
potential.
floated,
Hasn't come through just yet.
Did the Hunt any more chat on
Well,
the Hunt thing?
there's a bit of whispers around potentially Chad Townsend to Dragons. And when I say whispers, I mean just random chat. Could you go Chad Townsend to Dragons, Benny Hunt to Roosters?
That's
That's the first I've heard of that one.
Well, that's just pure. That's just like random chat on the internet. That's not like anything behind it. But when you think of it,
I mean,
not a bad spot.
Flano and Chad
Yeah.
have a very strong relationship, I think. They certainly have history.
I think it's a good move.
It's good for Chad. I mean, he's not going to... Oh, I guess Sam Walker's... Yeah.
it's not bad.
It's kind of just making sense in my head right now, but yeah.
What about you, Matty? What are you up to this weekend, mate?
I got a great one. Two of my best mates having a combined 30th, so we got people coming in.
that.
Got people coming in from all over the state. So two friends come from Newey, two friends come from Port, and we're all piling into one of the houses down the road. Before watching the Tyson fight, we'll have a good afternoon and then off to the 30th. So I'm so excited. It's gonna be a great day.
So you're watching the Tyson fight and then you're heading off
Yep.
to
Yep.
Tyson fight. That'll probably kick off at about, what do you reckon, 3?
It says 3. Yeah, I reckon 3.
About
Starts
3?
at 12.
God, we're blessed with American night times, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
It's so good.
So good. It's actually better.
I think it's better.
Yeah, because they have to stay up and watch it till bloody 10, 11 at night, maybe 12. We get it at friggin' the hour. It's literally the perfect time. Like, imagine how not as good it would be having to stay up on a Sunday night to watch the UFC till like 10 or 11. You wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do it.
And even on a Saturday night, it's like, I got others, like, you'd rather do other stuff than stay up till 12 watching the UFC on a Saturday night.
Yeah. I just had another thought. Do you reckon, I hope Netflix buy a bunch of these fights
I think
going
it's the
forward?
start of a movement.
Because there's so
around
much
these
content around it, and Netflix make it so entertaining.
I think it's the
And-
catalyst for a bigger
Oh,
movement.
for sure. I reckon you'll see Netflix sports. Well, the thing is with sport, in all other industries, things are down, like TV or reality TV or whatever. Whereas sport is the last bastion of people are just so engaged with sport. It's just going up and up and up 100%. And up. And it's just, it's like it's not a sure thing, but live sport, it's the one place where it's live and you watch it live, whereas no one watches anything live anymore, really. Sometimes every now and then you'll get a show like Shogun or Game of Thrones come out, but they're once in a million. Yeah. Whereas sport it is truly the most lucrative and valuable content, in my opinion.
I agree.
And so I reckon that's why Netflix looking at it and going, geez, we've got to get into that.
It's non-stop.
Oh, mate, non-stop. And also all the other stuff it creates around it, like the commentary stuff, the podcast during the week,
how many shows branch off it? How many stories are there to
and
tell?
how much
It's
is there to
endless.
talk about? Whereas Game of Thrones, you can have stories branch off not stories. You can have shows about Game of Thrones, but there's only so much you can speak about in an episode of Game of Thrones. Like, this happened, and I think that's going to happen, or this character's doing this. Whereas in sport, it is infinite how much you could talk for hours about every single
And then
player.
it's on
in
again
sport.
next week.
Yep, then it's on every week for the whole year, and then there's a new sport in the summer, and mate, it's just endless, absolutely endless. Alrighty, that is. Anything coming up, mate?
Anything coming up? Nothing of note.
Nothing. Can you still sign up for your thing?
Yes, you can. To all the lads out there who have made some changes, Animal Fuel, if you do want a free guide, if you've liked any of the information, you'd like to make a change or just get a little bit of shred on for summer, we got a free guide you can download. So jump on that. Some good information, and always happy to take any questions as well. Animal Fuel.
There you go. Animal Fuel. Get around it. Alrighty, that's us done and dusted. Don't forget to grab a DMP shirt to go on the draw to a footy companion for me, Tom Eddy. Join us at the Hello Sports Studio next year. All expenses paid, you and your mates. As usual, we'll go and fuck ourselves. Thank you.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.